This just might be one of those type of videos that causes somebody to unsubscribe. It may make you comment for the first time something not so nice or possibly an insult or whatever the case may be, but it's okay. I am completely okay with whatever anybody has to say and whatever anybody thinks because I don't live my life based upon the opinions and the thoughts of people I don't know and that don't know me personally. And I do understand that we live in a world now to where agreeing to disagree just is not something that exists anymore. So, as you know, if you're in the United States of America, November the 5th is around the corner. Next Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, actually, is the election. So, I have talked about this a little bit on this channel, and I've had people tell me, and I've also heard, don't do it, D, don't do it, don't bring politics to your channel, keep it out, just don't do it. And there's a part of me that's like, maybe they're right, but then there's another part of me that's like, who cares? Like, why not? Because the thing is, no matter what I say, it's not going to stop the next person from getting their money. It's not going to stop the next person from doing what they want to do. And darn sure it's not going to stop me from doing what it is I do on a day-to-day basis. So in this video, I just want to talk about my political affiliation and where I was and where I am now. So, like a lot of African Americans here in the United States of America, I grew up in a household that voted Democrat. No one ever explained to me why. It was more so of the typical mentality, hey, you're black, so you have to vote Democrat because that party is for the black people. And we were taught that the Republican Party was for the rich people, the white people. So if you voted for the Democrats, you were going to make sure that you got the people in office that were going to have your best interests, that were going to help you succeed in life, that were going to lend you the essentials and the aid that you need to make it in this world. And for decades upon decades and decades, black people have voted Democrat. It's not just black people, but there are other people who do too. But I'm talking about me. I'm talking about black people because it's always a topic of discussion when you talk to somebody who is African American and they don't exactly think the way that the mass majority of other African Americans think when it comes to politics. I've had two people ask me, who are you voting for? And one of them asked, why are you voting that way? The first time I got an opportunity to vote was 2008. I was about maybe 21 years old at the time. And this is when Barack Obama was running for office and Mitt Romney, I believe, was running for the Republican Party. I remember I was in my bedroom and I came across a speech from Barack Obama. Mind you, I'm 21 years old. I don't know anything about politics. My folks never explained anything to me at all when it comes to political affiliation, policies. It was always you vote by your skin color. As we call it today, identity politics. So that was what my family basically practiced, and that's what a lot of people that we knew, friends of the family, that's what they practice as well. So the first time I heard Barack Obama speak, I thought it was like, wow, like this guy right here is a great speaker. He sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Everything sounds so positive. Everything sounds so just like hope, you know. And we were right in the midst of the war in Afghanistan with George W. Bush, due to 9/11, and it just really, really seemed like, Bush's presidency caused a lot of division, and that's what I was thinking at the time. And I was like, man, like they're right. Like we really do need some change. We really do need to come together, unity and stuff like that. And that is what Barack Obama basically was talking about. So um, he talked a lot about Christian values. He believed that that marriage is defined by a man and a woman. Biblical marriage, which of course made a lot of Christians or the church, so to speak, or the evangelical vote ended up falling in his way when you say things like that. Because if I know what I know now back then, politicians will say any and everything to get your vote. And that was something that I just didn't realize at the age of 21. So I remember going to the polls with my girlfriend, now my wife. She's my wife now, and we went and we voted for Barack Obama. But I'm gonna tell you how ignorant I was at the time. I voted for Barack Obama, and I had no idea about any of the other things that we needed to be voting for down the ballot. Like nothing whatsoever. Like I didn't know what I was voting for, whether it was yes on this or no on that. I was just going down the ballot. But I just know that when I went to the ballot, I needed to vote for this man that sounded, good. That sounded like he was a good candidate, a fit for the country. Plus, we had um, celebrities coming out of nowhere, artists and stuff like that, rappers, basically giving Barack Obama the nod of approval, and me, being really heavy into hip hop music and rap and all of that stuff. It was a very easy choice for me, very very easy. So he wins. We're all happy, and I will never forget something that an old friend said to me. Like we were on the phone. I remember I was driving. I was going to the gym one night. It was about 10 p.m. And I remember the street and everything. And I remember talking to him on the phone as I'm going to the gym. You know what he said? I'll tell you what he said. Some black guy. Yeah, yeah, black folks about to be on top now. Yeah, we in the White House. Yeah, we about to get this and we about to get that. Like he really felt like black people won something. Like he really felt like black people were just about to just start pushing Ferraris and start making six figures and all this different type of stuff because we have this man into office that resembles black, but nobody wants to, you know, talk about his mom, which is not a black woman. So, but I digress. Whether they would ever let a 100% pure black man into the White House, that remains to be seen, but that's a whole other subject. So, Obama's in office. We're happy. But I just noticed that, my life didn't really change significantly after that. And by the time it was, time for his second run going for president, around this time, I had given my life to Christ, and a lot of my views changed. A lot of the things in which I condoned changed, and I was a lot more aware, a lot more in tune with things that were going on in the world. And, I just noticed that Barack Obama, didn't really sound the way that he did when he first came into office. He flip flopped a lot on some things that I just completely disagreed with. And I was like, wow, like this is the same guy that I voted for back in 2008. He doesn't sound like that. He seems like he is kind of, compromised, so to speak, especially with the same-sex marriage stuff, which, I don't agree with. That's just my opinion, of course, because I believe that marriage is between a husband and wife. But you can agree to disagree. Just respect my opinion. But so I did not vote for him in 2012. But we already know what happened at that time. But throughout that presidency, I found myself between 2012 and 2016 or 2015, I found myself just really asking some questions at this time because, at around this time period, I'm just really discovering that nothing is what it seems, and that just about everything to be true, there's something behind that, like a narrative or an agenda or something like that. Like it caused me to question everything. Like, and I'm not even just talking about just politics. I'm talking about just things in life in general. I just wanted to know things, right? Like, why do people do this and why do people do that? And hey, why is that okay? All of it, and why is this okay? I just wanted to know why. And I've learned that when you start asking questions, you start getting out of line. You really start pissing people off. Especially like, my fellow brothers, black brothers and sisters, like you're getting off code, like you looking kind of weird, man, you're looking kind of funny. That skin's a little bit brighter, so we kind of felt like you're kind of skeptical. I hear stuff like that. I've always heard stuff like that as a kid. You're not dark enough, or blah 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 blah. But again, whole other subject. I just had questions, so I began to question like why do black people primarily vote for Democrats? And has it actually benefited the black community? You see, some of you out there, I don't know, you may be like Hispanic, you may be Asian, you may be white, some of you are black. I know they watch my channel. And if you are African American, I want you to just really, really be honest right now and analyze, the black communities, analyze the inner cities, analyze the hood. Think about that for a second. Has things really, really improved over the last 30 years, 40 years? Or would you say it's the same? Or dare I say, is it worse? These are primarily areas that are Democrat and that moms, single mothers reside, grandparents still doing the things of the old days in which boomers do, voting for Democrat. And I remember growing up, my grandmother, again, somebody who voted Democrat like her whole life, struggled a lot after my grandfather passed away, just struggled a lot, but had this allegiance to this political party. It was almost like clinging to hope without even looking to investigate what else is out there, without even considering what else could be done other than the same thing. There's a quote that says, when you do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over, and there's no results, there's no change, that is the definition of insanity. So I just really started asking questions like, why do we keep voting Democrat when things just don't ever seem to improve for us? Like it always feels like we're still, no matter who's in the White House, Democratic presidential candidate, we still feel like public enemy number one. We still feel like we're at the bottom of the barrel. It still appears that way. We see it as it being that way. And again, I started just doing research, and I learned that the Democratic Party is not the same party that it once was at some point. Like it's not the same party. Like there's some things that have been changed. There's some different mentalities. There's some different motives that are there that have been changed over time. And I don't know if people, who historically vote Democrat have really did their due diligence to see whether or not this is true. But from what I saw and the research I've seen, it has changed. And as a black man, I don't see the benefit of voting Democrat. I don't see it because, again, I look at communities I see every single day. The people who don't own much of anything are black. The people who struggle the most financially are black. Crime that's being committed, violent crimes, tend to be from African Americans. And I know I'm going to piss somebody off right now. I'm sorry. But you have no idea how much it hurts me to even say that. But if it's one thing about me that you're going to learn, is that I'm not afraid to speak my mind and I don't run from the truth, whether it hurts me or not, or whether it hurts anybody else or not. I get sick and tired of turning on the local news just to see that an armed robbery from a black man, murder from a black man, or stabbing from a black woman, drug deals from a black man. And these are like 16, 17-year-old, 18-year-old kids, and some grown men too. But a lot of the crimes that are around here that take place are in the inner city by African American, young African American males. Okay. Now, do I feel like the presidential election really plays a huge role in what goes on in the black community? Not as much as I believe things from a district or county standpoint or a state standpoint. I feel like state, who we vote for the state, who we vote for in counties, absolutely is more important when it comes to relatable or what we exactly feel more so than the presidential election. I mean, we can feel that too as a nation, but the things that go on in this city, I think we definitely need to be focusing on like districts and stuff like that a lot more than the presidential election. So, but again, a lot of people believe what they hear from the Democratic Party. You know, you're going to get this, you're going to get that, that's going to change, this is going to change, your life's going to be better. Well, I don't see that. I don't. I don't see it. I can't speak for everybody, but I'm just speaking from what I see in my city. I don't see it. So now, here we go. 2016 comes around. And it's the same old story when it comes to the Democratic Party. Same old story. Making all of these promises, pandering to the black community. I remember Hillary Clinton talking about she carries hot sauce. I don't even do that. I don't carry hot sauce with me. I don't. I really don't. I don't know anybody who does, but if that's a black thing, comment down below. And maybe you do. Maybe you carry hot sauce everywhere you go. Put on, whatever. And then, Trump comes along as well. Now, before Trump began to run for office, remember Mr. Apprentice? Nobody had a problem with him. Everybody was like, Trump is the man. He hung around rappers. He hung around black people. He had no problem with him whatsoever. I don't recall anybody ever calling him a racist at all when he was like, before he ran for office. I don't remember. I never heard it. But all of a sudden, he comes into office and starts to, he comes in as basically a nationalist, which doesn't really reside with either side, but just decided to run for the Republican Party. But he can't be controlled, so that's a problem right there. This is somebody who's self-made, billionaire. He really don't need anybody. He don't need the nation's money for the most part. So I was still undecided when 2016 came around. But I told myself, I said, you know what, the next time I vote, I'm not going to let anybody tell me who to vote for. I'm not going to let anybody have any influence over my decision. I'm not going to vote based on my skin color. I'm not going to vote based on how my parents voted or my grandparents voted or how my friends vote. I'm not going to vote based on what celebrities tell me to do. My vote will be based on my views, the views that align with my lifestyle and how I choose to live my life and my morals and all of that. That's the way that I'm going to vote. So I went from being a ignorant Democrat. I'm not afraid to say it because, like I said, I didn't become a Democrat by choice. It was an inherited thing. Again, grandparents, mom, that's what you do. Vote because it's for black people to do. So that year I became an independent. And I had made the decision. I said, I'm not going to be on either side. You're going to have to earn my vote. There's no pledging allegiance. There's no promised. There's no get on code. No. No, I guess I'm just going to have to be the sore thumb. I'm going to have to be the nail that sticks out. I guess I'm just going to have to be the problem. I'm going to have to be the one that resides in the gray area. I'm going to have to be the one that people call ignorant or stupid or slow or whatever the case may be. Say whatever you want, but I'm a free thinker. I can make up my own mind. I can make my own decisions. So in 2016, I voted for Trump. I paused because I know that that's like an ice pick to some people watching this right now. And I don't apologize for that because as an American citizen who has a right to vote for whomever he wants to, I made my choice. I didn't like a lot of what was coming from the Democratic Party. I didn't like a lot of the policies. I didn't like anything really that they had to say. But when it came to him, because I know a lot of you out there like to harp on personality, you like to harp on the mannerisms of people and how they talk and stuff like that, like you're voting for a best friend competition when it's really a vote for, the commander in chief, not the buddy system and who can smile the most and be the best of, the happiest, the most positive. It's about who the heck can get the job done at the end of the day. So let's talk about that presidency. How did it affect me? What did it do for me? Because remember when I said that, voting blue didn't really do much for me. I didn't see it really doing much for the black community. I just didn't see it. When I made that decision, man, my life was like pretty good. Pretty darn good. I mean, I feel like I made more money. I wasn't struggling. Life was good. Things weren't super expensive. And the best thing about it is that none of the things that people said was going to happen happened. People were like, "Oh, you're going to be back in slavery again. If he gets elected, you're going to be going to the cotton fields. You're going to be picking cotton just like your great 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 grandparents." First of all, my ancestors were not slaves. I'm just going to say that right there. But that's another story. But I get the point. But even so, I didn't see anybody picking cotton. I didn't see nobody in chains. I didn't see nobody I didn't see, no one got their doors kicked down and they just took parents away or kids away from their parents. I didn't see any of that type of stuff. None of that type of stuff. So yeah, my freedom stayed intact. I was making money and life was good. Now, that brings us to the last election. The 2020 election. I remember I have YouTube videos taken down on another channel of mine because I was, talking just like this and sharing a lot of information that I had came across. Because remember, I was doing a lot of research for the last election. And then I darn sure did my due diligence for the 2020 election as well. And I saw so many instances they tried to bury of Joe Biden just saying just some of the worst things. You know, got on the Breakfast Club talking to Charlemagne, talking about if you don't vote for me, you're not black. Here we have an old white man who has the nerve, who felt comfortable enough to say, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. Like, that is wild to me. That is crazy. And Charlemagne didn't do nothing to check him, ain't say nothing. Ain't say nothing. To me, that sounds like a slave mentality, like a slave scared to say something to master. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, master. I ain't black if I don't vote for you. That's what it looked like. And there's other instances you can find a young Joe Biden saying things like how he didn't want his children to go to schools with other black kids, and it's the dude was really a racist and still is a racist. Everyone likes to say Trump's a racist, Trump's a racist, Trump's a racist. Like I don't understand how is he racist? Again, you may not like a lot of what he says or how he says it. The man really should shut up sometime. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not sitting up here I'm definitely not gonna defend a lot of his choice of words because he does say things that he probably shouldn't say, and he should probably word things a little bit differently. Maybe people wouldn't be so pissed off all the time at him, and they would actually listen to him. But kind of hard to listen to somebody that makes people angry by some of the words that they say. But again, it's not a nice person competition. It is a competition for the commander-in-chief of the United States of America. So, but anyway, we all know what happened in 2020. He lost. Biden gets in office. Everyone's happy and all this other type of stuff. Another win for the black community, right? Like, yes, like people, we're going to buy houses and we're going to get out of poverty and yada, yada, yada. That ain't what happened, folks. If we're being 100% real, like, it is horrific right now. I know so many people in bad, it ain't just black people, it's a lot of people, white people, black people, Hispanic people. The whole country is effed right now. You can't live on your own. Inflation has screwed everybody without Vaseline. You can't live on your own. You need roommates, 2, 3 of you getting together just to pay the rent. Splitting the rent 3 ways down just to survive. You go to the grocery store, eggs $5, $6. A box of oatmeal $5.99. It's ridiculous. It's so bad right now. It's so bad right now. I just thank God that, I'm in a position to where I can take care of my family. But how I got in that position was because of how things were from 2016 to 2019. That was how I got in the position. Had that not happened, I probably wouldn't be so well right now, honestly. And as, the election approaches, here we have Kamala Harris. We're already at 30 minutes right now. This will be a whole freaking hour if I keep going. I've never seen a candidate resemble a chameleon. Not the actual, not an actual chameleon, but the personality shifts. I've never seen someone do something quite as often as she does to change the way that you talk, your accent, mannerisms, all these different type of things depending on who you're talking to. Never seen it before. The cackling, the laughing, and it's just very, very disturbing. The flip-flopping. There's so many, there, as the election grows closer, a lot of the stuff, Google's doing this darndest to bury a lot of stuff in which you could find that show her contradicting a lot of what she says. But one of the most disturbing things about this election is that I see so much division between people now, especially black men and black women. I see so much division right now. Black men and black women at ends with each other. You got black men that's like, I'm not voting for her for their own reasons. You got black women that's like, we hate you because you won't vote for her. You don't want to see a strong black woman in the office. Like, so we just gonna forget that she's like biracial, right? We're gonna forget about the Indian mama that she got in all of the pictures with the dot right here. You know what I'm saying? That's her mom. So we just not gonna talk about that. She just black. Anyway, the division that this is causing is disgusting. It really, really is. I've talked about this on this channel before, like the war between men and women. I hate it. Like I truly, really do hate it. But as I really, really analyzed this election and the fact and how she even got in that position, nobody ever questions either. Like she didn't have to fight for the position. She wasn't even the nominee, Democratic nominee. They just put her there. Like this has never happened before. Like okay, like this is okay with a lot of people. The hardcore Democrats, they're like fine with this, like they're okay with it because they're gonna vote blue anyway. Like nobody wants to be like, that ain't okay. Wait a minute, there should at least be some sort of like competition here as far as who gets this nomination. Nah, we just gonna go ahead and give it to her, just because like that's exactly what happened. And it's like people forgotten that. People forget a lot. People forget very often. And the reason they forget is because of the distractions that we got going on in this world. So many different distractions, so many different angles. You forget stuff. You forget. That's why you should take notes, people. But we have a serious problem in this country. And, immigration, the immigration issue, my goodness, if it's not addressed, everybody's going to be a minority here. Everybody. You won't be able to get no jobs. You won't be able to find a place to live. It's going to be overpopulated. There are like millions of immigrants here. Millions. Illegal immigrants here. I don't have a problem with people coming into the United States. I just want you to do it correctly, not sneaking in here. But the borders are open. And you should see in videos that show you pouring into the borders, just coming at the thousands upon thousands, the hundreds of thousands coming into this country right now. I don't know where you're from right now, but have you noticed that it's like possibly overpopulated in your city? Maybe. Because I know in my city it's bad. It's like so many people here in my city, it's not even funny right now. That's a serious problem, folks. A really, really big problem. So as the election grows close, who am I voting for? As I stated about 15 minutes ago, I am not a Republican. I am not a Democrat. I am an independent voter who votes based on what I see, what I research, what makes logical sense to me. I vote upon the history as far as how a particular party has affected me personally and how I see it affects the community that they tend to target, which is the black community. I vote upon research. And I'm, without any shame, saying that I've already cast my vote, once again, for Donald Trump. Some of you have known me who follow this channel for years. You may not want to associate yourself with me anymore. I am fine. Just like I said in the beginning of the video, I will not lose any sleep. And whatever you say about me is irrelevant because you don't know me personally. You know nothing about me. You don't know what I deal with daily. You don't know how life is where I am. You don't know me. You just know what I just said, and you might not like it. But the difference between me and people who may have something negative to say about me is that I really don't care who you vote for. Like, if you want to vote for Harris, go ahead. I'm not going to call you out of your name. I'm not going to sit you down and say, let's have a conversation, let's argue, let's debate. I don't have time for that. I'm a busy man. I don't have time to argue with people over politics. Whether he wins or whether he loses or whether she wins or whether she loses, I still got to go to work tomorrow. I still got to feed my family. I still got to make things happen. You feel me? And I got to do my due diligence to make sure that there's somebody there in office that can keep the money coming. Because if you're somebody like me and you got a lot of responsibilities and you like to make money, you vote for the candidate that's going to help you in that regard. Now, this isn't a video of me telling anybody how to vote, who to vote for. I'm just telling my story. That's it. Because I got asked this question 2 times this week. And I knew that I would be probably taking a risk, bringing it here on YouTube, but I don't care because it's a very hot topic. On one side, you have acts of desperation, bringing all of these celebrities into the mix: Beyonce, Glorilla, Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, Eminem. Like, have you just sat down for 1 second and thought about what they really think of you? Like, what do they really think of you? And I'm gonna tell you what, they're like, those are their gods right there. They look up to those people. They listen to those people. They listen to their music. They buy their albums. They go to their concerts. And if we get them to come out and endorse us, they're gonna vote for us. That's exactly what they're thinking. That's what they're thinking. I'm here to encourage somebody out there to not vote upon identity, not to vote upon emotions, not to vote because of what somebody told you to do or said to you. Vote based on your core values, the policies that you agree with, and what just touches home the most. That's it. And then just go on about your day. And respect people who vote for whomever they vote for, because don't be that person that tries to start a fight because you don't agree with somebody's political views. Don't be that person. Because again, I don't care who you vote for. I'm gonna go to sleep tonight. I'm gonna make things happen for my family. I'm gonna be good. You good? Some people ain't good. Some people not good. Some people know, oh, you voted for Trump? Oh my gosh, you're such a horrible person. You're blah, blah, you're dumb, blah, 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 blah. And then you live rent free in their mind. However, there are some others on the red side that do the same thing, talking down on Democrats. Oh, you vote for Harris, you must have one brain cell, and, you must love the murder of children and stuff like. We hear that all the time on both sides. So there's flaws on both sides, which is why I am an independent. But you gotta make a decision with one or the other. I will say this. I'm gonna end this video. This is very long. If there's ever a time where there is a candidate who comes to fruition who is a Democrat and they share the same sentiment as me and they believe in the things I believe and I agree with their policies, I will vote for them. No problem. No problem. But unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the trend. But I digress. So, but anyway, comment down below your thoughts. Who, if you're comfortable, who are you voting for, and why? Hopefully, it doesn't spark too much chaos in the comment section. Take it easy. Peace.